Okay, welcome. We are going to have our special meeting, and the purpose of this meeting is to hold an executive session for 1 hour to discuss personnel and possible discuss property acquisition. No action, and then when we're done with that, we will reconvene the special meeting, talk about personal pay and the executive director search. So I guess we can go right into executive session.
Recess during the special meeting.
Okay, we're going to recess it and then start the executive session now. Okay, our meeting shall reconvene, our special meeting.
Ken, can you hear us?
I think he's muted.
Yes, I can.
Okay.
Perfect.
So we are going to be discussing personnel pay and some of the duties and evaluations. Where would you gentlemen like to start? Travis, let's start with you first of all. You had proposed a employment hope or
change order,
change, yeah.
Adaptation to currently what I do.
Okay.
I don't know, that the letter was pretty to the point. I thought there's a lot I can probably do for the board. In fact, I know there's a lot I can do for the board. It just depends on whether the three of you and the budget actually has the room for me to come in and provide some of my services of being able to acquire some of these projects and get them done, right? Essentially, we're definitely behind the 8 ball on a lot of things. And I would say that a timeline and just a list of the most important things, so that we can address those before we miss out on various deadlines and such would be the most important things to progress. I mean, the little things that I've been looking into after are things that are don't have a huge deadline on them, except maybe the vote out there.
Right.
And I think I can't see a better option than just paying the local guy to do it and getting our reimbursement money. Because because that just settles it, and we're going to get all the money back since 100% forgiven anyway.
Okay.
So
Be careful what we talk about.
Yeah.
Special meetings, you have to stick to them.
I didn't know we're still on special meeting. Oh
yeah,
yeah.
special meeting.
Yeah,
So
we're discussing pay.
So one of the things that we could spin off from our discussion is job description, right? So security / administrative. There's a lot of docs that we can easily connect there, and then for you to look into what that looks like, getting him into the system if that's the direction we're going, right? Anyway, I was going. Is there any discussion that you all want to have on it?
Well, I just kind of want to bring the community up to speed about some of what we need to discuss, and that's some of the change of duties. You know, Leanne is not going to be acting executive director,
Right.
but you know, until we can find another one, and then her duties were operations manager.
Correct.
And so maybe some of those things that are an operations manager, you know, we can. I think she pretty much, you were employed pretty much by her, so she can go over some of that with you about some of splitting up these duties.
sure.
And then we can kind of go from there, I think.
Yeah.
And with the change of the pay, you know, we need to talk about that too. And it was proposed the last meeting about some of these, but which it was tabled. So let's talk about the cost. Do you have anything to add, Ted?
No, I'm good.
Okay. John, did you want to add?
Well, I mean, I have a number, and the reason why I want to throw this, I want to throw a dollar amount for her, is because we're trying to also at the same time give her an appropriate raise. We're also trying to bring in the support with Patty and Travis, that whole thing, and I want to be diligent or just being good stewards of well, what's that gonna cost and what that's gonna look. So I wasn't gonna go through real high on the executive director's interim director's responsibility. So I'm gonna throw out $6,600 as a start. We don't know how long it's gonna take for the executive director search. We can also move that around as time goes on, but that's what I'm gonna propose.
And one thing too, that we are taking this opportunity is that, you know, before it was just Larry and Leanne and no backup. So we're hoping to have it spread a little more, you know.
Well-oiled machine.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's not a direct reflection on what I think is your ability to do. You know, if I saw some numbers that we were looking at, right? But I think that's a start. I really do. And 66,600 salary. And I would propose that be retroactive. From the time she took on.
Salary is a good idea. I've always been hourly.
I want to do
But
salary.
I've been working, I worked on Friday, which was a holiday. I came in.
Yeah.
Working on the weekends. I keep my computer by me. I mean, I was watching Monday Night Football answering emails, but I wouldn't put that in as hourly.
No,
Yeah.
I am looking at salary. And then also with an expectation that you're that you invest the time that, I mean, it's like we live and breathing it. I know you have. I really do.
So much of what she would be doing as an executive director is you have to answer these emails after it, literally when it comes up, because if you let it sit until the next day or 2 or 3 days later, things don't really move at the pace that these deadlines are.
Well, that's a discipline.
We have a water line break in the middle of the night. I mean, when I was in from before we had a water line break, I was over at a Mariners game. And I had to coordinate all of that. So you just do, it's 20.
So there's a discipline and expectation. To keep this office wide and open, of course, it goes without saying. But I would propose a salary. Opposed to that.
That makes more sense now that I've been actually doing it for a little while. It's like, okay, salary things probably.
Yeah.
It's not as much as I'd like to do, but I think we have to be careful.
You have thoughts, Ted?
Well, with that, I don't have a problem with what Commissioner Sheridan said, but
salary is $6,600 from her current salary with her additional responsibilities as interim director now.
yeah, but we need to list that salary. It's going to have to go to retirement. They're going to have to figure out what that annual salary would be, or is, I should say. So we need to, on top of what you're currently making as an hourly, we create that into a salary. I just need what the bottom number would be there.
So as the operations manager, she was basically making 27 an hour at about 43.20 a month, and that's an increase to around. I should say it's an increase. I know it's salary, but if we put it in terms of hourly rate to about $40 an hour, we can crunch that and figure that out. But it's quite a bit of responsibility. But I think that salary is salary. It's the only thing it changes is it goes, and she would, and then eventually we get another executive director that will. She goes back to the office and then the responsibility she had before.
Yeah. We did before.
Right. So that's what I'm proposing. I'm not making a motion yet, but I want to hear what your thoughts are more on that, Commissioner.
One thing I want to say, Ted, is Aaron is working on budget. We should have a preliminary budget by the end of the week. So we can put all that in there and get the estimate of what adding Travis to retirement, what the retirement cost would be to the board. So we can do all that.
Yeah. What about health benefits and retirement for you? Does that change?
We don't have health benefits. We have tried, but when you have 3 people in an office, you don't qualify for any of the pools.
So what did Larry do? Didn't we?
No, we didn't have it either.
Okay.
We just
I thought
paid
we
that.
did.
Yeah.
I've always just paid my own.
Yeah. I think that was part of his salary. I remember that discussion.
Yeah.
It was just like, well, let's just pay him more so he can afford to pay what he pays.
Okay, yeah, because I know that we had that discussion.
Yeah, we tried really hard to get
Yes,
health insurance.
several years.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not to change the subject, but being a small nonprofit, there are some reputable insurance company, and I see Mr. Van Busker's had his hand up, but that do offer some healthcare, dental care at a very reasonable price. And I could, one of these days when things slow down, maybe we could have a rep come in. I've dealt with them for my staff to try to get them some benefits. And some of them are pretty darn good, really good. So maybe in a few months, we could have somebody come in and give us a dog and pony show of what some of these benefits would cost us in the long run.
That's great.
Okay.
So, what is your thoughts about? Yeah, Ken, go ahead.
Hi, folks. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but do you commissioners understand that this meeting wasn't properly posted 24 hours before the meeting?
Yes, it was. It was on the door and it went to the press and it was on the door. It was not on our website until 9 o'clock last night. However, with our size of our court, it's not
Well, it wasn't on the website until 10 o'clock last night, Leanne.
Yeah.
And I was the one that sent you the message that I couldn't find the agenda 24 hours beforehand. So I don't know, you might want to review the RCW, but I don't think you should be meeting and I don't think you can take any actions. Thank you.
State auditor will tell you that we do not have to post it on our website. We don't have to post any documents on our website. We do that out of courtesy.
And I concur with that because with the Open Public Meetings Act training that we go through, you have properly noticed it.
I took the training today. It's fresh in my memory. It's accurate.
Yeah.
Goes on the size of your court. If we were the Port of Seattle, yes, it would have to be on the website.
Mm-hmm.
But we are a smaller court. We don't meet that level where
Don't you, excuse me, but don't you normally post, you sent the agenda to the commissioners and you don't post it to the website at the same time?
Yes, I normally include Greg in that and I missed that. And I appreciate you pointing that out. And that's why I took care of it immediately. Ken, you've actually helped me a bunch. Yeah, pointing out little things. So I fixed it.
Thank you.
Okay. Any further discussion on the issue?
Do we have any comments?
I could with that. Yeah.
I wanted to make a motion, Commissioner Jackson, on a salary increase. My motion is to salary at $6,600 a month during this interim time as the executive director, while we pursue a full-time director.
I'll second.
And retroactive.
And yeah, I need to make that very clear. As I mentioned, this is retroactive to the time that she was appointed as our interim director. So I just want to qualify that.
And I'll second.
Okay. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Now we want to address Travis's request.
Right.
Any problems with that yet, or do you want to wait till we find out what we can afford, or?
I'm good with it. Ted wants to see what the retirement part will look like.
Okay.
But it takes, before you're vested, you just read the paperwork.
Yeah, it's 2 years at 70 hours a month.
Yeah.
Before it actually takes place where I can qualify and process the paperwork for.
Yeah, so it's not gonna cost us anything for 2 years. It's just gonna be a reporting thing.
Okay.
Well,
Go ahead.
If I could ask a question, what retirement system is this, Travis?
It's the state retirement system.
I thought the state was 5 years when I was going through it.
was 10 years when I was, I think. way
Yeah.
back.
It just
It was
changed.
5 years to get vested into PERS, or maybe it's been reduced to 3 years, but it was 5 years when I went through left and PERS, and
And I
so,
took the documentation and printed it off and read through
okay,
it. Exactly.
okay.
It was 2 years now.
Yeah, 2 years, 2 years.
Okay,
So right now, you're at 30 hours a month roughly. Yes.
Roughly, correct.
And then we're looking at adding 10 more hours to your time a week to fill in and do security / administrative related, and we know what half a dozen of those things are right now that you're being very helpful with. So while Leanne looks into this, I would like to propose, commissioners, that we go ahead and approve him to do those 10 extra hours a week right now. I'm not making a long-term commitment, but what I am saying that we approve that right now while we work out the details as to what that might look like for him.
Going to do a job description and retirement,
You're gonna do a job.
for Travis.
Yeah, she's gonna be doing a job description, we discussed.
Which at one point I signed a job description early at Larry's.
File.
And Commissioner Jackson, and I know that you've got a lot of experience with this. I would suggest that when Leanne does a job description, that she has you look at it. Well, she'll send it to all of us, but your input be invaluable.
yeah.
Does that make sense?
I think we're all on the same track. And
Okay.
then, like I said, I can't go back and say, but Leanne is the executive director, and except for approving somebody to work extra hours or hire, it's up to the executive director to make sure the job description. But yeah, I appreciate it. We all should look at it because it's actually going to be a new adjustment. But that's why we agreed to have Leanne as executive director, because we trust her ability to run the office and keep it open. So.
Right. Okay.
Do we need a motion to have him, or is under the executive director, don't we determine that?
Yeah, not unless we're changing pay or something. One thing that we'll have to deal with is security officer is not an eligible position yet, for the court for retirement. So we would either have to make security officer an eligible position or change his title to an eligible position. But that's just nuts and bolts.
Well, security and administrative duties
There you go.
doesn't say security officer. That's integrated with that role. You need to look that up, right?
Yeah.
Find that out. So
And then have a motion for us.
Yeah.
Yeah, to say
Yeah,
that's an
right.
eligible position.
in the meantime, I would propose as a commission that if we're all in agreement, that immediately he continues to do the extra 10 hours a week that he's doing, as he documents it, and he works on these other issues that we're well aware that he's working on, from the derelict vessel to the ticketing book to the camera and sea lines. And because now she'll be delegating those tasks with those 10 extra hours a week
I mean,
as
I
needed.
concur with that.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree also.
Okay, cool.
We don't need a motion though, do we?
I don't think
No,
Because again, he's under your direction.
that's right.
Okay,
If that wasn't already an employee report. probably.
And
yeah,
one other thing, have you seen Patty's resume that was emailed? The other,
Yes, I looked at it. Yep.
right, wonderful. Because I'm comfortable with the help she's able to provide Leanne in splitting and share and having that help that she desperately needs here in this office. We're spreading the wealth here, and I think we got a well-organized direction now.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
yeah, good. Anything else for personnel? Then we can go to the executive director search.
Other than that was when I say that, let's move right there.
Okay,
Okay.
for the executive director search, Ted, you have your thoughts on that? Just to reiterate what your thoughts are?
I say we all keep it on our front burner but I say we start putting our thoughts together. Maybe we could have that as part of our regular discussion the next month, but and then we really start getting the ball going right at January. We could all bring in different different entities that we want them to promote the application. Of course, WAPA, MRC, EDC, and then we have a really nice finalized draft, and we are going to have to agree on what we're going to offer as executive pay. But I think that's going to take us a little bit more thinking.
Right.
And to be honest with you, other two commissioners, I just want this water district to run smoothly, the purchase. And so, the time I'm spending, I'm trying to research and read. And so when I do meet with the attorney or the assistant, I have some questions and they can be answered and we could keep on moving forward. So that's my 2 cents. If we focus on January 1, 2024, we push it out to all these agencies and all these groups that might be able to reach out to people, and then we do it. And then we have a firm cutoff date when applications, resumes, we can even have a questionnaire put together. One of the strong points Larry Capola had was his writing skills. And so, of course, we need somebody that can communicate both verbally and written. So I wouldn't mind having a section as part of the application process. And we just ask a couple of simple questions and just see if they could write out and not just give one sentence answers. So, and as you both know, there's people coming out of the woodwork, as I mentioned before. So a lot of people have just said, why don't you just appoint me? And I said, well, there's 2 other commissioners. So, and we have an office to run, and right now is not a good time to rock the boat. So
we'll get aggressive on that. I agree. But right now, we got our house back in order, so to speak, after recovering from that tremendous loss, with some foundation here, and we take our time, but we move methodically in the direction of those 3 things. Between the idea of the Port of Shelton reaching out to them or some other entities, the MRSC, EDC, and the WPA, I think we're going to get lots of input and lots of direction on that, and take our time, so we don't do anything that's going to be anything but beneficial to this board. And I'm comfortable with where we're at.
Yeah.
Within that long term,
Yeah.
It's not a short term goal; it's a long term. But we'll move on aggressively coming out of the holiday, and I think we got a good idea of how we're going to go about doing that.
I agree, and I've had some people I do respect say, "Hey, you all just need to take your time, make sure you find the right pick, and be happy with it. You're going to have to give that person a grace period, so in their contract, but just take your time, do it slowly. There's no rush." So
right, but we have what we need right now. Yeah. Just move forward on that.
Yeah. Okay, that's great. Leanne, we had a meeting with Sean from the Oyster House, and we have to have a meeting.
Yeah, we need to set a special meeting. Hopefully tomorrow at 11. It'll take about 5 minutes. We have to approve their proposal. They sent it to Larry in August, and that's for all of the engineering and design to move for the platform down there where the Oyster House is going to go. And it's $56,580, and that's above my spending purview. So we need a motion for that. So,
okay.
And my understanding, and correct me if I'm wrong, getting the monies to approve for this, it's all reimbursable money.
Yes,
it's just that it's beyond her ability to authorization, I should say.
Yeah, and we can't do that today because it's not on the agenda.
Right. I'm good with 11 o'clock if you are, Commissioner.
Let me just double check real quick.
Via Zoom.
yeah, and it'll be quick.
I would also suggest that we not being reimbursed for a 5-minute meeting.
Yeah.
11 o'clock tomorrow will be great.
Okay.
Okay. So you'll send out the
It's already on the door. And
right.
Notice.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Well, I'm really comfortable also about waiting until January for our search and giving us time. So thank you.
Breathing room.
Yeah.
Breathing room, and also to gather our thoughts. We could also be talking about the direction we're going based on some of that conversation we've already had already.
Yeah.
And we'll be better served for having discussions over the next few months, but nevertheless, Doing that more aggressively after the new year, I think that's smart.
Anything else?
Just settle.
Just for the good, not the good of the order, do we have a date on Larry's service?
Yes, it's
Yeah.
November 20th between 5 and 8 at McLeod's in Bremerton. I'll send you the announcement.
Okay,
Yeah, I put it on our Facebook.
well, I'm sorry, yep, okay.
What'd you say, Travis?
Oh, I just hope they don't remember me. I was permanently banned from the clouds for doing my duties as a bail enforcement agent, so.
Okay, anything else? Public comment? I don't see any public anymore. No, okay. Anything for the good of the order?
Thank you.
Yes.
I appreciate your confidence and hope I can continue to gain it.
Yeah, thank you.
All right,
Thank you.
meeting
Thanks.
adjourned.
Have a wonderful day.
Yeah, you
Thank you,
too.
you too.
See you later, Commissioner.